Hey, 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 I am back. I am back. I am back. And now I know we're going to have a good picture because I'm at home and not relying on this cell phone signal anymore. So for hopefully we get some of you. Oh, Cheryl's back. Thanks for coming back, everybody. And Nancy, I see, is here. Good to see you. Boy, that was too bad. So if you're watching this, we were live about an hour ago at Waldheim Cemetery, and the signal just kept cutting out. So very, very frustrating to do that. So I cut that off, erased it, and now here we are here. Hey, everybody's coming in. Great to have you guys back. Awesome. Betty Feliciano's here. Colleen, Aggie, Jennifer, Lazy Library. I love that. All right. Look at all our friends. What a group we have. So cool to see you guys all come back. Debbie Butler's back. Linda, Glenda, Judy, Wooly, Sandra, Maui, Ramona, Boo from Germany. Where are you at in Germany? Are you in Frankfurt? Are you in Stuttgart? Where could you be? I want to know. Jeanette. Hi again, Ron. Merlene was, it's too bad that live stream didn't work. It's such a cool place. But anyway, that's where I've got a lot of pictures from there. And guess what I found? I found something really creepy, and I brought it home, and I'm going to show it to you. It's in the car. In a few minutes, I'll jump away, and this is really bad, and it's not going to speak well for Waldheim Cemetery. Let me tell you, they're going to have to do something about this. Great to have you. Hey, anybody got some coffee? I just brewed. I had to wait for the freight train coming home. I was dying to get back to you guys, and finally rushed in the door, but I made a mug of coffee here. Bring back the beard. Bob likes the beard. I will. You know what? Next fall I'll do it again. It was just getting too raggedy, and I don't want to trim it, and it's too much work. But it was fun. I mainly did it because my boys wanted to see how Dad's beard was doing. So what's going on, you guys? Too bad we can't be walking through Waldheim Cemetery. There's a lot of pictures there. So as I was saying, I took many pictures there. I spent hours there walking around, and I probably got 60 key families. And Deb is doing the research on them, and we're going to take select family stories like we did last Friday, if you like that. And we're going to do more of those on Fridays. I don't think I can do every Friday like I was hoping because it's so much production work, because I just can't, as I was saying, if for those of you on the live stream, I don't know if it was frozen or not, but I just can't do a quickie. Like I get into the history, like of the tailoring and some of the other things we're finding in the city that they came from in Europe, or like in that case, Ukraine. I want to do the history deep dive. So make a production out of it. So we'll do that. Wendy Burgess, I have missed you. Where have you been? I've been around. Have you been gone? So we've got Ralph from New York. We got Dawn Taylor's back. Long beards make men look old, Deborah Truth Seeker says. Okay, I'll go with that. I really wish the stream had worked. That cemetery was cool. James McCarthy said, yeah. Let me tell you, and that place is massive. Like I could do 20 walks there. I'm probably going to go back there and we'll do a walk that I'll do filmed, videoed, because I got to tell you, there's nothing more frustrating than driving 45 minutes, getting set up, getting to a spot, and then doing the live stream. And then it's like, it's a fail. And then I got to drive 45 minutes home. It like blows the whole afternoon. Nancy says the signal's better. Yeah, that's because I'm at home and I'm on my own high-speed internet. So you know what? I just put two and two together. Do you know that cemetery used to be, well, it's next to Forest Home. Remember where Britton and I did the Halloween live, and that was a fail? That's only about a mile away. And that actually used to be called Waldheim also. Now it's called Forest Home. So there's something going on in that whole area of, I think it's Forest Park Des Plaines, We thought it was solar flares, right? There's something going on there that's blocking. It's not YouTube. I don't think it's YouTube. It's not my phone. I had all bars. So let's just be done with that. I'll get back there and I will do but I've got 60 families there that have some really interesting stories, and I'll be getting back to that. So what's going on? What's happening? What can I talk? What can we catch up on? Um, I found something really, really bad there that I brought home that I'll take out. We'll get a few more people um, here based on this live stream. What do we got? We got 234 people. Cool. So let's get a few more people in, and I'm just getting ready for my trip, you guys. I have a crazy episode coming out tonight that was suggested to me by what was her name? Rhiannon. I don't know if Rhiannon's from Indiana, but this is a crazy story that I never heard about. It's by Purdue University, by West Lafayette. Hey, shout out to Purdue. I was there for lunch. I went to the student center, parked on campus at the mall there, and I went to the student center and I had a couple of those sliders. No cheese with fries. It was really good. But tonight's story is really crazy. It happened there south of West Lafayette, Indiana, about 10 miles south. I'm not going to tell you. You got to tune in tonight at 8 p.m. You can look at the description box in the premiere that I put out. You'll get a hint on it, but it's a good story. Springdale. Have I ever been to Springdale Cemetery in Peoria? Rick the Barber. Yes, I did a couple of episodes there. I did an episode and I did a live stream in the snow. So if you search videos on my channel, you can watch it. Pretty cool story there. Pretty fun. So yes, I've been to Springdale. Let's see what else you guys talking about. Morning from Australia. Hope you're having a good day. Everyone, yes. Greetings from Scotland. That's Mariah or Moray. Golly, sorry, I'm butchering your first name. Cindy says, my family is at German Waldheim, Forest Park. Yep, that's the one. You passed by them on a previous video. I've done a few videos there at German Waldheim. And the most recent one that I did was on Paul Harvey and his wife, the spooky mausoleum. Kathy Parr, $10. Thank you. And that is really coming in handy, Guy. I see Britton's here. What's up, Britton? Having a tough time right now. I've got to do a little ask for donations. I never ask. I don't put commercials up. You know how I am about that stuff. But the last live stream I was doing, I was talking a little bit about Leroy Woods, who is the father of little Joshua, who was killed by the jet off Midway that came through the barrier. You can watch that episode. I told his story. The little boy was crushed inside the car. His mom we met with at the cemetery at his grave. So I offered to buy a gravestone, working with Truce for Leroy. His father has no stone for 10 years now or so. And we're going to do it right. It's going to be a semi-truck. He was a truck driver. It's a beautiful stone, that Truce, but it's going to cost $9,000. So I'm getting pretty far in debt now. I'm paying for about 2/3 of this stuff right now. We have a very generous Patreon group that is kicking and helping in a lot, but I'm getting in some pretty good debt now. I'm about $15,000, $20,000 into gravestones. So I can't take any new projects on for a little while. I do have one that's pending on Instagram. I'm sorry, can't do it, but you're on the list. But I've got to get some more funding coming in now. We've got the one in, thank you, Tree Annie, for $20. That is going to help so much. $10 for Canine Fly. Thank you. I've done like 60 live streams. I do all these. I never ask, but I need your help now. Tracy Davis, thanks. If you can, anybody pledge $1 a month on Patreon. The links are in the description box. They will be below. Yes, we do, Julie, have PayPal. The thing about Patreon, it's a big ask to be in there every month putting money in, but you can do a one-time donation. Tracy Davis, $2. Thanks. It's everything. It adds up. So we've got several projects right now. I've got two going on across the street from Troost for Alexander, the Gacy victim. I've got the unknown stranger. Thanks, Teresa, for $10 for Leroy. Wendy, thanks for 10. This really helps a lot. And we've got the one in Auburn, New York. We've got the one that's for the little girl. Oh man, you guys are great. Wendy Hickson, $10. Teresa Hill, I mentioned. Cemetery Views, 20. Thank you. And we've got the one for Jeanette Stevens out in California that Vanessa's handling. We're buying all those graves, all those monuments. I can't do any more right now. So Ariel, $10. Thank you, Christy Lewis, $10. It will find me. M.S. Valise, $20. Wow, you guys are really stepping up. Thank you. And anyway, I just hate asking. I just never ask. That's how I am. I do not put any advertising in addition to what YouTube already puts on, which is the baseline. Auntie Coco, $5. Pepper Lee, $10. Thank you. Wow, you guys are like blowing it out of the park. Thank you. $10 from Ellen Newth for 9,000 towards a headstone. Yes, thank you. Elderly Poodle for $20. Thank you. Holy cow, I can't keep up with you guys. We have the most generous community here. It just blows my mind. And that's why I'm like on my laptop, just sitting here at home. I like taking you guys out in the field. But I just wanted to make sure and connect with you guys today. Carolyn for $50. Holy cow. Thank you. Thank you. Just amazing. What else did I want to tell you? So at Waldheim, I really wanted to take you through that cemetery. There's going back to the 1800s. There is a lot of Cindy Wheeler, $10. Carolyn, $50. I'm not sure if I'm repeating myself, but thank you. That's really fantastic. I'm going to go to my car real quick. And I was walking at Waldheim here. Denise, $2. Thank you. And I was walking back to my car and I almost stepped on something very dangerous and horrible. Tammy, $2. Paul Grogan, $5. Thank you. Naomi, $10. I appreciate it. I'm going to run to my car because I'm going to show you something really bad. And I got to get the word out on this for Waldheim Cemetery. This is something really insidious that's going on there. Flutterby, $20. Thank you. I'll try to scroll back, but I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Okay. My live stream failed. Look what I found at Waldheim. All right, guys, I'm back. Who did I miss? Sorry. Man, I got to wash my hands from what I'm going to show you. Who did I miss here? All right, we picked up, was Carolyn. We've got Denise, $2. Tammy, $2. Paul Grogan, $5. Naomi, I truly appreciate what you do. $10. Thank you. Flutterby, $20. Lisa Kuhn, $10. Thank you. James McCarthy, $5. And Bree Young in for $20. James Burns in for $20. Holy cow. We'll pay for one of these gravestones like right here. Oh my God, you guys are great. I got to be careful because what I'm going to show you is pretty bad. And it's pretty heartbreaking. But it's something that I stepped on at Waldheim Cemetery. You're not going to, I got an alcohol pad here because I got to wipe my hands off because this is really bad. So you ready? Lorraine Scott, $10. Thank you. James Burns, I think I've got you for $20. Thank you. And by the way, again, no commercials on this. No commercials on this channel. You will never see me. I'm going to promise you now. Remembering Ella, Nita Gould, thank you, 20 bucks. Lorraine Scott, 10 bucks. I can't keep up. You guys you're blowing my mind here. But like I said, I will never have commercials. I get about a solicitation almost every day, sometimes 2 a day, from small companies, big companies that want to advertise on Faces Forgotten, where I sit here and say right in the middle of the story, like, hey, and by the way, you got it, this video game's really cool, or, and I'm thinking maybe someday if it's something that I really love, not for the money, I would do it, but I'm not doing advertising here. I'm promising you that. And, you already have to put up with that stuff from YouTube. And but I am going to advertise one thing, and I'm going to tell you about that. It's my book, but it's not out yet. But we'll talk about that. But listen, so I'm walking through the cemetery on the way out. Our live stream failed today. Sorry, the signal. I'm never going back there for live streams because that whole area is cursed. But speaking of cursed, I almost stepped on what I'm going to show you. All right, and this is really disgusting, but does anyone know what this is? Okay, that is called a broadhead. Those are razor blades. And that is for Mr. Woods. Oh, thank you for Britain. Thank you. So this is an arrow. Okay, this is a carbon fiber arrow, and this flies very high speed. Yeah, it's from a bow and arrow. And yes, someone is hunting. And the disgusting thing is, if you look close, this has blood all over it. Okay. You see that? That is deer blood. And you can see that the blood is all the way through this. Okay, I got this at Waldheim Cemetery, and you guys at Waldheim, you can sue me or whatever you want, but my live stream failed, but I almost stepped on this. So you guys have got to do something at your cemetery because there's a bow hunter or bow hunters out there killing deer. This has deer blood all the way through it, which means this arrow was shot and went all the way through the deer and came out the other side and is on the ground. And yeah, very, very sick. Okay. And this is called a broadhead. Those are razor blades. Okay. And these are devastating. These are devastating. The kinetic energy behind this is it's like a bullet. And when this hits something, it just keeps going through. Okay. It goes through and it doesn't stop because of all of this mass is like focused behind this point. Okay. Just like that. And it is going to go through with these razor blades, whatever it is. And this sadly is got blood. Look at this. I got it all over my finger. This is deer. Unless it's human blood. I don't think it's human blood. So I will keep this if Waldheim Cemetery officials or owners see this and want me to tell you where I found it. I will be happy to show you. Look at this, stuff's not even coming off. And I will gladly help you. I would recommend that you guys get thermal cameras and you go out there at night. In fact, I will offer right now, I have thermal cameras. And if you want Waldheim, Forest, I don't know if this is part of Forest Home. I think it's not. God, I got blood all over my computer. I will, I'm just thinking out loud here. I will go. Thank you, Sandra Haycock, for $20. If I've missed anybody, I really apologize. Right in the middle of this story. Let me scroll back. Kim's in for 20. Yeah, I missed Kim. Sorry, Kim. Pexoto for 20 bucks. Thank you. I will offer my time. I will offer my thermal camera. And you know what, Britton? You'll come out with me, right? Because I have 2 thermal cameras. You saw that on the other channel. We took the thermal cameras out. In fact, I have three thermal cameras. Maybe we'll get a third person and we'll go out because let me tell you, the bow hunter, whoever or bow hunters that are shooting deer at Waldheim and killing deer, and I saw the deer there, they're running all around me. They're not watching this program. So yeah, no, I'm HH. The animal that was shot with that, it takes a half hour maybe, blood trail, and then they're gonna die. Careless Rex, $10. Thank you very much. So yeah, it's very horrible. And I'm afraid this is happening. This is probably happening at other cemeteries too, because playground for deer. I don't know at Rose Hill, Britain, if you've seen any deer hunting out there, but watch out. Yeah, this is really gross, but I'm going to save it in case the cemetery um, wants to investigate this. This, I don't know if these have serial numbers. Actually, this does have a skew and a number. Maybe this particular arrow can be tracked down to who sold it, right? G2. Who sells that in Chicago? Oh, here's a number, guys. Hey, let's just put this out. All right. All right. I thought I saw a number. There's a number. 040. Oh, it's upside down. Sorry. Let me get this. Let's get this number out. It's a weird number. Is that upside down? Oh, there we go. I don't know. That's kind of a weird. Okay, so if I can hold that still, hold it. Let me try and hold it still. I got shaky hands, guys. All right, so there's this, maybe a serial number, and maybe whoever wants to do some research on that arrow. It is a. I've got one more thing. Let me just, just to let me, just to finish this, get the evidence out. Okay, G2 are red. Looks like it's backwards. Here's something else. I just really want to. Is this stuff like coming out backwards? O2E, O5E. So again, I'm upside down. I'm gonna get my hands all scuzzed up again. But I think this is important. 320, Abu. Sorry, guys. I just really feel like we should get this information out. Oh, there's some more information. So anyway, you know what? If someone wants to delve more into this, I can take some pictures. What I'll do maybe is I'll take some pictures of this and post it. We'll post it, where we can get clear pictures because the resolution here is no, Nancy, you shouldn't be hunting in the forest preserve or in the cemetery. No, unless they have some type of program where they're trying to call the deer herd, they'll bring hunters in and it's all official, but I haven't heard. So here we go, guys. If you just joined in at Waldheim Cemetery, they're killing deer, they're bow hunting, and there's bloody arrows on the ground. So I'm sorry if Waldheim gets mad at me, but if you want to be proactive, I am happy to help. And speaking of proactive, I'm doing a story in Rockford. Oh my God, this blood is all over my computer. Blood flakes, crud. Anyway, I'll clean that later. So I'm doing a story in Rockford, and it's going to be like remember the Diane Okowitz episode? Did you guys see the Diane Okowitz episode in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, where that case is, they have probably blood evidence of the killer, and the police department doesn't seem to be doing anything about it because I offered $10,000 to pay Parabon or Identifinders to do the familial DNA matching, and no one has contacted me. Police department, a lot of times police departments, probably like Menominee Falls, are people that are in their positions and they just don't want to take outside help because it makes their job more difficult, or maybe it's one of those things where it's ego, like, who are you to tell me that I, and they're not doing it just to be stubborn and mean. So I'm just putting that out for Menominee Falls. That very uncool because it's been 6 months now, maybe a year since I put out that offer. Have they called me? No, no. Anyway, that's another subject. So, Tree Annie said, any game wardens around there? No, there won't be any game wardens. Mary Waisaki, did Ron get the info on Edmund Gwen? I don't know, Mary, what I should get. I told you guys get his find a grave. And if somebody wants to do some research on him to find out if he needs to get an urn or something, that's the guy who played Santa Claus on Miracle on 34th Street, the old Santa Claus guy. I guess his ashes are stuck in a bag somewhere in a box somewhere in the vault of somewhere in California. So I just threw it out there. If somebody wants to do the research on that. What else? What else? Buffalo Bills game is on. Awesome. Hey, you know what I just got into? Like I was into the Peaky Blinders and I ate that up. I love that, but I'm like the last person in line, but I finally got to Game of Thrones and I'm like hooked. I just got through season 1 of Game of Thrones. Like, wow, I'm loving it. Speaking of stuff on TV. So upcoming Cheryl, yeah, Cheryl, upcoming trips. So David, thank you for the $20. So upcoming trips, yes. Big. So on the 25th, I'm going to be leaving for Arkansas. I've got 3 or 4 stories in Arkansas, and I'm going to meet up with Nita Gould, who's the author. Remember the story about Ella Barnum, who was murdered, decapitated, that whole thing, the Ozark story? We're going to go to do a part 2 to that with some really intriguing on-site stuff. If everything works out. And I've got some other stories in Arkansas. Then I'm going to head to Texas. And in Texas, I'm going to start with Dallas, Fort Worth. I've got some stories there. Then I'm going to hit Austin for a story, I think. But I know I'm going to go all the way to San Antonio because I'm going to do one story there that I promised one of our viewers. Her father was killed, unsolved murder. So I want to get that as some shout out exposure for the case. And then eastbound to Houston. I got 4 stories in Houston. So by early, I would say February 10th-ish, I should be in Houston. And then from there, Lafayette, Louisiana, New Orleans. I'm going to probably spend a week in New Orleans. I got a lot of stories now there, a lot of good stories. And then from there, I'm going to eastbound and down, Alabama. I got a really good story. I got 3 stories, 1 in Alabama. I got 2 in South Carolina that I'll probably save for Halloween that are really good. And I'm going to be doing some special effects. I've already got it like in my mind what I'm going to be doing. But then Florida, and hope to hook up with Scott on tape in Florida. Maybe we do a story on his channel. Maybe we do a story together on my channel. I don't know. I don't have a lot for Florida. I don't want to do Jackie Gleason. I don't want to do all the usual stuff, guys. If you have any cool story, I do have some stories in Florida that you have. I want to do stuff you guys haven't heard before. I don't want to do. And by the way, if another cemetery channel has done a story, it completely takes the air out of my sails. I have no interest. I don't want to do it again. I don't like doing reruns. I like to do my own stuff. So having said that, looking for more Florida stuff. But I do have some Florida stuff that's pretty good, I think, but 3 stories. And I want to spend more time in Florida. But I might get on a plane and go from Florida. I might do a 3-day trip into the Bahamas, or I might do a 3-day trip, maybe to Cuba. I don't know. But I may do I don't know. That might, I can't promise that, but I might do something just over the border, over the ocean. Yeah. So Scott, is he back in Toronto? Rockstop22 says he's been on the West Coast. I think I've been watching Scott, and I think he's been in California. I saw him in Monterey, right? Wasn't he in Monterey? So we're keeping, him and I, we're kind of keeping watch with each other, keeping in touch. Pretty cool dude. And he makes me laugh. He is such a riot. He's like what you call the proverbial live wire, man. He's just like this, nothing scripted. I love that. So he's got a big fan in me. And yeah, Miss Piggy would love to live in the Bahamas. So would I. So Candace, I think who Prince Harry Saga. Let's see what else. What else did I tell you? Careless Rex. I love Vermont. Yeah, we did a lot of Vermont. I definitely hit Vermont pretty hard. Speaking of that, this summer I'm not going to be able to go to UK because getting all the stuff in Arizona set up on the new house and moving. This house is getting sold, all of that. So, but I do plan, I think this summer I'm going to make a major effort to go to North Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, maybe if things work out, all the way to Amanda Panda's Idaho, Washington State. I can't promise it, but I'm going to try and cover the Rocky Mountains. I've got some really good stories you guys haven't heard out in those boondoggles. So, have you watched The House of the Dragon when you're done with? Oh, is that the next one, House of the Dragon? Ah, thanks, Courtney King. Yeah, I'm loving Game of Thrones, man. And the dwarf guy, he cracks. I love that guy. What's his name? I don't know the actor's name. That guy, every time I'm like, oh, I think he's great. He's always got the best lines. He's like my favorite character. The other part, actually, my favorite part of Game of Thrones, and I'm only in season 1, is you're going through all these different parts, is the part where it's the blonde beautiful woman and is that the Aquaman of later, the strong, um what I'm talking about, the tall, the warrior guy, and they're out in the desert. That whole scene, she's the one with the dragons, the 3 dragons. Now they got them in the little cages, and they're not big I'm sure they're going to be big dragons later. Don't spoil it for me. But that's actually my favorite part, like following her, following the dragons, like she came out of the fire. I was like, whoa, that was my favorite part of season 1. She came out of the fire. Yeah, no spoilers anyway. Yeah, so I'm sure you guys are all into that, but I'm a late comer to that. I just don't watch TV a lot. And when I do, I've been watching ID Channel, all this crime stuff. I'm starting to get sick of Oxygen and ID Channel. I got to like pivot off. And Game of Thrones is still going, right? What's up, Flo? Flo, did you just get here? What's going on? Flo is with us. Where's Karen? Is Karen watching, or is she going to watch on the replay? Who else we got with us here? How about visiting Woodlawn and the Bronx? Oh, I don't think I'm going to be back to the Bronx or New York. Not for a while, man. I've had some just bad experiences there. It was really rough on me, but I got some stuff done there. I do. The other place I want to go this summer, I don't know if it's going to happen, is I've got Kimberly, and Ashley's hometown in Pennsylvania, that whole area outside of Philly. I have like 30 stories there that are really good. So I literally want to, and I want to hit Cleveland area too. I've got some good stories in Cleveland, but I don't know if I go on the way out, go to Cleveland and then go out. That was a good route. So I want to do that. So House of Dragons, huh? It's going to start filming in March. Oh, so it's something that's coming up now. Okay. Tammy says, nope, Alaska. Man, I want to get back up to Alaska. I wish I was doing my channel when I was on Kodiak Island. And God, can you imagine the stories in Alaska? I was on the Katmai for a couple of weeks with my boys. I got a video on our Alaska trip if you guys want to watch North to Alaska. And then I used that song, North to Alaska, that old, what's his name, whose grave I want to do at some point. Come on, what's the guy's name? Tell me. North to Alaska. I did not like Yellowstone, Triani. I know I am a Kevin Costner fan, and I do not. Let me just talk about what's the new one that came out with from Star Wars. Star Wars guy, come on. God, I'm so bad with names sometimes. The Star Wars guy, what's his name? The old guy. He's an old guy now. Pilot. The guy who's a terrible pilot. He flies the same plane I flew, the de Havilland Beaver, and he almost landed on a jet at John Wayne Airport. Come on, what's his name? Harrison Ford. Thank you, Teresa. Harrison Ford is on record probably one of the worst pilots out there. Almost landed his airplane. He landed his airplane on a taxiway at John Wayne Airport, thinking it was the runway. So you can go Google that. A lot of bad pilots out there. Yeah, Johnny Horton. I want to do Johnny Horton's grave. Right, right. Ruth says I'm an old soul. You're darn right. Like I'm reincarnated, man. I wish I could remember my past lives, though. I don't have that gift. John Wayne played in the movie Jennifer Franklin, north of Alaska, or was it north? Okay. I have to watch that. I like anything Alaska, but the Alaska reality shows they're doing are terrible. It's like a joke. It's so sad. There's so much cool stuff you could really do. Life Below Zero is not bad, but it's a little. The original Alaska story was the husband and wife, and again, I totally stink at remembering names. I'll remember it. Himo or Hemo, and him and his wife Anne, and that was indigenous. He was one of the first guys that went out to Alaska in the 60s or whenever and made a life for himself, and he married an indigenous woman, and they had, and Hemo is his name. They're still alive, and they did the show for a year or two, and that's when, and it wasn't Life Below Zero, it was the predecessor. Really good. And then there was some other people that was really good, but now it's junk. It's garbage. There's a new Indiana Jones movie coming out. Wow, sounds cool. That should be good. I wonder who's going to play the main character. The opening scene of Yellowstone and the calf coming out. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I tried to hang out for 2 or 3 of Yellowstone, and that's what I was saying. Back to Harrison Ford. He's got some kind of new Western thing, and I watched like 15 minutes of that. And I'm sorry to get down on Harrison Ford, but Harrison Ford, if you're watching, your acting sucks, dude. And I was a fan of you as Star Wars, but you have no passion. You're sitting at the table, you're resting on your laurels. I'm Harrison Ford with your cowboy hat, and you just sound like a putz. You really do. You just you got no acting ability anymore. You're tired and worn out. And I just was like, the other actors were great. And the back set and the scenery, I don't know what the show is called. It's horrible. He's horrible. Man, I'm really picking on Harrison Ford today. Sorry, I didn't plan on that. Who's your favorite actor, guys? Who's my favorite actor? I have to say Russell Crowe. But Russell Crowe kind of blimped out, so I'm kind of disappointed in him. Like, I think he's just famous and he got fat, right? So what else? Man, I've been blabbing away. You guys got any feedback? Is somebody going to like hit me over the head with a hammer with all that? It was north to Alaska, so I had it wrong. Okay, Jennifer. So I'm going to look it up. It's kind of legendary. So I was saying on YouTube on my other channel, Bush Pilot Explorer, you can look at a bunch of videos of my seaplane flying stuff. And I do have one called North to Alaska there. And it's an hour long. And I took my boys 4 years ago up to Kodiak and to Katmai. And it shows a lot of, and my sons were like, stop videoing. And now they're like, I'm so glad you videoed. They're so funny. But speaking of all that, I just finished the book. And I'm not advertising yet, but I will be probably still a year off. But I'm starting conversations with the publisher right now. Shout out to Nita Gould for helping me point me in the right direction, and her friend Mary Coley or Cooley. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. And they got me pointed to a publisher, and that book is starting about my life and how I became a pilot and all the close calls I had and my Arctic expeditions and the polar bears and the shipwrecks and all this stuff that I found and skeletons, and then kind of culminating to 4 years ago or 5 years ago, is it now, when I had to bail out of that TBM Avenger over the White Mountains of Arizona, and we had to get out of the wilderness all broken up. So It's I think it's going to be an entertaining book, but you know what? I'm writing it is not to make money or sell it to you guys. It's really for the legacy for my sons. I just want, after I'm dead and gone, I want my family legacy to, my legacy to be mainly that I was a good father. I mean, that's number one. And two, who was this guy? And then I could have this book that tells them of my adventures, and hopefully why is that important? Because I want to inspire them. I think that's the most important thing for a father to do and a mother is to inspire their children, inspire by example, tell them stories, set them on the right course, but inspire them. Even professionally, what you do, they're looking at everything you do and they want to top you. They want to be bigger and they want to do bigger things, which is cool. I wanted to make more money than my dad made. And I think my son is going to top me, or my sons. I have 3 sons. So, yeah, anyway. What's for snacks? Cape Cod barbecue chips. Jennifer Miller says, never had those. Somebody got me Michael Palin's Erebus for Christmas. What's that? Erebus is the name of the ship. Is it a new book about the HMS Erebus? And by the way, just so you know, I'm going to put it on record, but it will be in the book. I have a picture, and I flew over Erebus in 2011, 2 years before they found it. But of course, I'm not going to get any credit for it, and that's fine. But I published it. I published the picture from the air at 5,000 feet of the Erebus, just south of what island? O'Reilly Island. When I was flying O'Reilly Island, all those chain of islands. And just Steph, grow the beard back. I will probably next fall, but then I get sick of it by Christmas time. I couldn't even make it through Christmas. Did you tint your hair? No. Did I tint my hair? No. It's probably just because of the gel and I had a hat on. Probably does that look tinted? I don't know. No, I didn't tint. I don't have time to tint my hair. Let's see. I agree with you. Let us know when the book comes out. My dad is a pilot and would love reading your book, Teresa Hill says. Cool. Yeah, I will. Like I said, I'm talking to the publisher right now, and it's still probably going to be a year or two before that comes out. So what else did I want to tell you? Deborah Truth Seeker says, I don't need a beard. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It feels so much better because I like to wash my face a lot. I don't like the oil, the oily face. I like the clean face. I think they are tulips. What are you talking about? Tulips, Courtney King. All right. What else did I want to tell you? There was one other thing. Nathan, what else did I want to talk about?
Did you talk about the arrow?
Oh, yeah. We talked about the bloody arrow. What a disappointment. I really want to do that live stream today. I'm not going to go back to that area live stream. No way, no way. So, yeah, Mount Erebus disaster. Okay, that's something completely different. I don't know much about Mount Erebus. Pete Riley, no beard. Come on, bring some subjects up. What are you guys talking about? Roses and tulips? Have you moved now, Karen? No, have not moved. The house is bought and ready, and the house is going up for sale. You want to buy my house? You can buy my house. It's up for sale now. Hey, when are you doing Paranormal Guys again? Flo says, good question. Paranormal Guys, actually, I've got an episode with Britain. We're just waiting for some snow. It has not snowed really. We want to do some nighttime videoing, but we need that snow to give us the ambient light to see. It helps the infrared camera if we get some ambient. But that channel is going to be on hold for probably a couple of months until I get back, because I'm going to be, on this month and a half road trip. So we're not going to be able to shoot anything. I do have one other episode that Britton and I did together with Mel Dorr, but we're waiting for a police sketch of the killer unsolved case that he had a vision of. And I'm hoping that once I get that, I can put it in and release it. But the Paranormal channel is going to be pretty much on hold for a couple of months until we can get back to it when I come back, because we have a lot of stories. Are you still going to do a video in the area where your plane went down? Cheryl says. So you would be talking about the White Mountains of Arizona. There is a story up there that I'm going to be doing. Yes. And they did find the plane, by the way, a few months or 6 months ago. The plane, I think the NSTB has taken over along with the law enforcement, and I've gotten no word on what I'm sure they're taking it to a hangar to do an inspection. But yeah, Laura, we have or Karen, we have a paranormal channel called Paranormal Guys. Check it out. And Alice just put the link in. We're just having fun with that. There's no like rhythm or rhyme or pressure. Like we take a couple of months off, then we'll do a bunch of videos, then we'll take some time. You know, it's like whenever we feel like it, me and Britton. So the rays of energy that came and grounded all planes. Do you know about that? No. What is that? Text me on Instagram. Woodlawn Cemetery in Dayton, Ohio, the most haunted. Okay. You know, I did an episode in Dayton about Anna Hochwald at the Calvary Cemetery, the Hilly Cemetery. Oh, I love that cemetery there. Y'all need to go to the Everglades where that plane crashed. Actually, that's on my list. I think it was the pilot, not the pilot. There was somebody, oh, one of the rescuers. But I can't find his grave. That's the problem with that one. But I do have that on my list that's related to that. One of the rescuers that was saving. Did anybody survive that or did everybody die? It was one of those plane crashes in the Everglades where there was, I think, some people. Courtney King, hi from Alabama. Courtney, I've got a story in Alabama I'm going to be doing. It's in Huntsville. So I'm going to be coming through Huntsville. I'm going to deviate from southern Alabama, go up, it's in Huntsville to the north, do the story, and then come back down again. But it's that good of a story. It's a really good story. Alabama, Crimson Tide, value jet crash. Yeah, I think it's a value jet crash. There were some survivors. One of the survivors was a stewardess. Yeah. So I think the problem I had, let me look on my list here. So on Florida, it was, I think it was a rescuer. See, this is my like list, you know, I don't know if you can see that. I have all my stories here on my phone and I have them by state. So if I go to Florida, see, I can do this pretty quick. So if I go to Florida, I've got that story. I've got that story. I'm just scrolling along here through all my stories. See, I've got stories. I'm giving away my stories. One of these stories I have all mapped out. So when I'm looking for the story of the guy, look at this story. I don't have it. I must not have put in my notes because I couldn't find his grave. So if anyone knows the rescuer, it's an older gentleman who died recently, who got an award. And he was on one of those boats, those airboats, and he was saving people, and he died recently. Can't find his grave. He has about 100 gigabytes of stories he wants to cover. Britton says, yeah, I have probably well over 500 stories, if not close to 700 stories. I wish I had a clone, you know, I could send 10 Rons out there with cameras. It's not going to, so I got to take the best of the best. And are they the best stories? I don't know, but they're the most intriguing. I take the most intriguing stories to me and I take those, and those are the ones I do. Like I could have 10 stories in Florida, or I could have like, here's how it works. Like I've got like 30 stories still here. I've eaten most of them up. Well, back when I had like 50 or 100 stories here, there was one story that came in. I was like, pushed everything off. I said, I'm doing this story tomorrow because I get like obsessed, like it's a good story, like a mausoleum story or somebody, you know, buried alive, or with Britain, the vampire story. That was the coolest to be able to find. Was it Henrietta Lunt, Britain? Flo Costa, $50. Thank you. Good luck in your new home. Chicago will miss you. I will be back. You know, I think this summer are we going to get an Airbnb? You and me?
I think so.
Yeah. Nathan says we're going to get an Airbnb this summer. So I'll be like bouncing back, Wisconsin, Chicago, And then out west, then out east, I'll be all over the place. But I will be back in Chicago. But I don't have much in Chicago. I've exhausted my stories. I got a Rockford story I'm going to shoot next week. Why the name change to Paranormal Guys? Well, Rob Harris asked the question, why did we change the name? Because mainly for searches, we think that people are searching for paranormal. We want paranormal in the name. That's why we changed it. We're not growing. We're not getting a lot of new people on that channel. So we changed the name, and I think that helped a little bit so people can find us in the search. So we just had a fun name, Paranormal Guys. No big deal. Pair of Paranormal Guys. Yeah, we could call it that, but we chose to keep it simple. Where will you be at in Wisconsin? We're up north of, you ever hear of Minocqua? James McCarthy's asking. We're north of Minocqua. We're up there in the Northwoods. And that's, we've been in Minocqua for the past 30 years. Even more. I've been going up there. I started in Hayward, Wisconsin, at Telemark at Lake Owen, going to Otter Bay Resort when I was little, but pivoted to Lake Tomahawk, and moved to Minocqua probably 20 years ago. Fence Lake, Minocqua. It was called Kodiak Lodge, but we sold that to the people that own. You ever hear of the Duluth Trading Company? The Duluth Trading Company, the father, son, I forget their last name, starts with an S. They bought my place on Fence Lake. So they own it now. And I told the story of that place. It was haunted. They tore the place down because it was haunted. It was an old cabin from the early 1900s. Indian burial ground, I think. But anyway, they bought it. They own it. And they built a whole new cool place in Mars Bay there. I lived in Wisconsin for 4 years and I loved it, Flo says. Yeah, Wisconsin. Where about in Wisconsin? Were you like Lake Geneva or were you way up? Oh, Scott on Tape is here. Our pop culture tour guide. What's up, Scott? What are you doing? Are you back in Toronto? Where are you at, buddy? Scott and I are going to hook up, I think. What are you thinking, Scott? When are you going to be in Florida? I'm looking at late February. Mid to late. What do you think? Are you going to be there? You are I'm in Toronto indeed. Okay, cool. So you're back home, taking a break. When are you heading south? Can you please give me a shout out? Okay, LKV. Everybody, LKV. LKV, shout out. Now you got your shout out. Only one shout out for you. Now don't everybody ask for shout outs because you can look in the text. You can get a shout out there. Scott says, I was going to say I'll call you tonight or tomorrow. Yeah, okay, yeah. We'll strategize. I got to find some more stories there. Rob Harris, $10. Thanks, Rob. That really helps. Appreciate it. Everybody shout out to Scott. Hey, can we put Scott's channel on here, please? Ashley or Alice. Is Ashley with us? I think Alice is with us. So everybody, if you don't know, Scott on Tape has a channel. He actually goes to cemeteries also, but he has a wider universe. I think he gets into all kinds of entertainment stars. Scott, I mean, you do all kinds of stuff. Famous singers, pop culture. That's his channel. So just really interesting stuff. And I love Scott. He's unscripted, kind of just goes, has a talk, finds the locations, kind of like Harmon, our friend Harmon. Harmon is infamous crime locations. Give him a shout out too. But Scott has a great channel. We did a live stream together and it was just fun. We had a great time together. There's a channel. Yeah, click on that. Check out his channel. If you like it, subscribe. Anybody having some coffee? Pop culture, yes. I love you too, man. Cannot wait to hang. Yeah, we're going to have some fun in Florida. I don't know where we're going to be, but we're going to find each other in Florida. And we'll have we'll have some burgers and beers, maybe a shot. Speaking of that, the tonight's episode is in Boilermaker country, and I did have a Boilermaker, which is a shot and a beer of shot of whiskey and a beer at Purdue University. You're not going to see the university tonight. You're just going to see a guy get his head chopped off. You want to see that from the 1800s. Crazy story from Rhiannon. Rhiannon, are you here? Rhiannon, she got a great story here. Sonny Tracy Witt is with us, by the way. I'll give her a shout out. You and Scott should do the Wolf. I do have the Wolf family murders, and I'm planning on doing that this summer, because I am going to, is that North Dakota, Wyoming? That's out that way, right? So either way, I am going to do that story. I plan on it because I'm going to be passing up that way, right? The Wolf family. That was crazy. People tell me do the Lawson family murders and the Velisca, and I'm just not going to do it. You know why? Because it's been done so much on YouTube. You hear me like a broken record. If it's been done over and over and over on YouTube, I don't want to do it. Don't want to do it. I'm not inspired. North Dakota is awesome. Okay, yeah, so it's North Dakota. So I'm definitely going to get up there. I want to see probably come through South Dakota enough. That's my favorite story, by the way. It's the South Dakota story that I did. And thanks, by the way, for everybody watching the Italian bride, Angela Rose, who died on her wedding day on the church steps. Thanks for rewatching that. It was heavily censored, you know. We had to censor that because things are touchy. I mean, the original picture showed a little fuzz of the hair on her head. So I censored that out. So you couldn't see that little, it was a little piece like that. So I censored that out. And because once it gets hit by YouTube, then it doesn't get recommended to anybody. Lisa Wilcox, thank you for the $10. I appreciate it. What are we up to today? Usually it shows a total of how much money we've got. And it's on my phone. I can see it, but I can't see here. But we did really good tonight for the grave markers. Thank you. That one for Leroy Woods, like I said, is going to cost over $9,000. And that has just put a hurt on my bank account. With all the others, I'm like 15 to 20 grand in gravestones. But we got a great Patreon group. We have PayPal. A lot of people have been, I'm getting a lot of PayPal. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And grave markers, Teresa, you're right. They are not cheap. They cost $1,000, $2,000 and up. That one for Leroy, I did not see that one coming. I mean, we want to do it like like little Joshua's, but when you get into the upright gravestones with the sculpture and all the etchings and stuff, black granite, 10 grand, 10 grand, just like that. And that doesn't even include installation, I don't think. So we're going to have to suck it up for that. So I appreciate all the help we're getting on that. Nice glasses. These are Walgreens, $12.99, number 3. You know why I got these? Because these are $300 glasses. Okay. And you probably like these ones better, but these ones are progressives. So if I want to read, I got to go like this because I got to look through the bottom. So I got the wall. When I do the laptop live streams, I'm doing, these are cheap plastic, $12.99 from Walgreens. Yeah, why not, right? You can just buy 10 of them and then leave them everywhere. So, Ashley, what are you doing? Are we going to do that haunted house story up in Wisconsin? Paranormal guys, we got to do it. We have a paranormal guys story right now ready to go. We just need snow on the ground. We just need snow on the ground. I'm working on some new equipment too for paranormal guys. I want to see the energies. Infrared is as far as we're going now. And Britain's got his gadgets, but I want to take it up a level. That's the other thing. I want to take it up a level. I want to keep doing the same thing. I can't stand doing the same thing. I got to keep evolving. That's what I'm doing this Friday thing, trying it out. You guys like that Friday snippets? We're doing more. We're going to be doing these snippets. I've got a backlog of probably, well, I've got 50, 60 families at Waldheim, maybe more. And I've got 60 families at Mount Carmel backed in there, all waiting to go. Do you ever get the creeps doing paranormal shows Not too much, just when I'm by myself and not with Britain. Actually, that I had a shoot that nighttime of the Grimes sisters by myself. I just let Britain off the hook, and I sit there for 4 hours, letting that infrared so somebody doesn't steal the camera, in the dark. That was pretty creepy. Cars going by, and I'm looking behind me, by that there's creeks called Britain. Is that creek called Devil's Creek or whatever down there? Like I could have easily topple over and no one would ever find me for a month. Devil's Creek, man. I did not like doing that. So yeah, I get a little creeped out doing that. And I got a little creeped out in Reich, Britain, creeped out in the Sears Warren. Hey, Britain, I did the Montgomery Ward. I think I told you I've got that coming up. Montgomery Ward's Lost, Forgotten Crypt. I've got that all done. It's ready to go. Do you guys want to see it tomorrow? I'll put it out tomorrow. I'll save it for next Sunday night. How's that? Next Sunday night? Tell Brian, $20. Thanks for stories and providing the headstones. Thanks, buddy. Tell Brian, shout out. $20. Thank you. Thank you. It's all really. Deidre Rose Sharples from England, right? I was shocked. Lisa Marie, 54. Yeah. Wasn't that something? Now, is that from drugs? Was that from drug use? I heard there was some drug use, but not maybe that was from when she was younger. But like, yeah, that's perplexing. Pretty young, right? What do you guys know about Lisa Marie? What's the real story? Or broke heart over her son. Oh, okay. I don't know anything about it. Did she, I don't know. I don't follow that whole story. So was her son killed or something? Drug overdose? I don't know. Something bad, right? You guys, any of you guys coming in late? What do you got? 500 people. Just want to show you the bloody arrow from Waldheim Cemetery. I'm going to start using this now. It's got deer's blood all over it. This is a razor blade broadhead, and this was a arrow that I almost basically stepped on. See the blood on there? Waldheim Cemetery. They are deer hunting at Waldheim Cemetery in Chicago. Isn't that nice? They're killing deer. Maybe they need food. I don't know. I think it's for sport. I think they're taking the big bucks out. Every cemetery has a couple of huge bucks, right? Doesn't that break your heart, Britain? That's like big Titus. That's like taking out Titus at Rose Hill. That's what they're doing at Waldheim. Somebody needs to get out there. I hope Waldheim contacts me. I'm happy to offer my services. I'm sure I'm speaking for Britain. We'll bring the thermal cameras. We'll catch that bastard bow hunter. He doesn't know we're coming. Let's do it. Maybe we just go out there and do it. Night stalk for deer hunters. You want to do that, Britain? What do you guys think? Should we just go do it? Then what happens when we find them? Do we throw a big net on them? Yeah, you came in late. It's a bloody arrow I stepped on. Almost stepped on the razor blade. How about that? How about that infection? Yeah, Scott, this arrow I found at Waldheim right in front of a tombstone laying there. It had been shot, and it has, you can see the razor blades. That's called a broadhead. And let me tell you, this thing coming at you, all that mass, all of this mass behind this little point, and it's covered basically. I got this all over. The blood is just coming off in flakes, but this is from Waldheim Cemetery, and from this evidence, it's gone straight through the deer clean. So probably killed the deer successfully. And when you shoot a deer with this, it takes about 15 minutes for the deer to die an agonizing death. And they run as hard as they can. They bleed out, then they fall down and pass out and die. And I'm sure that guy followed the blood trail and probably to take evidence, took the whole deer out of there. But they were after the horns. They're not after. They're trophy hunting because the biggest deer are in the cemeteries and the forest preserves. Illegal. Yeah, that's why we don't want to be in the cemetery at night, because this goofball that shot this would probably take me for a deer. Can you imagine having an arrow like that? And it would go right through you. Let me tell you. I have a funny story about that. Everybody. Doe a deer, yeah. Yeah. Can you believe that, Scott? I can't believe people are even allowed to hunt in cemeteries. No, it's total, Scott. It's totally illegal. It's somebody that's poaching. We call that poaching. So we got poachers putting out the alert. I hope a lot of people watch this. We got poachers at Waldheim Cemetery, and there I've got the evidence. I'm gonna hang on to this thing, and they can do a DNA on the blood. I'm sure it's not human blood, but it could solve a murder if someone was killed around there with a yeah. There are ethical hunters. Yeah, well, the hunters are ethical. Bow hunters, I got nothing against bow hunters. I used to bow hunt. I used to bow hunt. That's why I know so much about this. I never got a deer, but it was just getting out in the wilderness. I will tell you a funny story if you want to hear it. My bow hunting days. So I used to live in Hoffman Estates, and my first house was a split ranch. And a split ranch, it's my starter home, and it had a 2-car garage. And what I would do, I thought it would be really clever to, because I wanted to practice, and shoot into targets, but I wasn't going to put it in the backyard, and then you miss the target and the arrow hits little Jimmy next door, and I go to jail for 40 years. So my bright idea was to pull the cars out of the garage and put the big target on the wall, big styrofoam thing. And then I went across the street, like 40 yards away, and I'd look both ways, and then I would shoot into my target. Well, I missed the target. Now, when you shoot target shooting, you don't have this. You don't have this on it. No razor blades. So I'm not going to, actually, I can do this. Hold on. So I'm going to be very careful, but this should unscrew. Yeah. Okay. So basically, we're going to have a lesson on carbon arrows here. So I got to be very careful. All right. So basically this unscrews. It's got deer blood all over it. I just don't want to touch it. Not that I'm going to get infected, but you just don't want this on your body. Okay. So that's what that looks like. Okay. So you basically, the tip of all these arrows, you screw in what's called it's a metal point. And the metal point, like this is a 125 grain broadhead, weighs 125 grains. You get the same grain and you put it's a pointed metal thing. And then you shoot that to targets. Well, with my story, I was in my 20s and I shot that arrow, missed the target. And guess what happened? It went in the garage. It went through the garage wall, hit the back of the microwave oven, went into the microwave oven, and it popped the door open. So when I came into the kitchen, the microwave was there, and the door was open. I looked, and there was the arrow. So pretty funny, but it shows you how much force is behind these arrows. It's lethal, Lorraine Scott. It's beyond lethal. I mean, this will, man, if you get hit with this, it's going to go right through you. And that's at like 50 yards, like one gets launched, especially, I got the deer blood on my hands again. I got to wash up. Yeah, we're talking about tonight's episode. I'm going to rename is Hunting in the Cemetery, Hunting at Waldheim Cemetery. That's what I'm going to rename. Like when we get offline and this processes, I'm going to call this episode Hunting at Waldheim, Hunting Deer at Waldheim Cemetery. How about, should I do that? What do you guys think? NRI, NRA. Are we talking NRA now? Oh man, let's not get into that subject. Our governor has just banned assault rifles in Illinois. Oh, why did I even bring it up? It's going to turn, we don't even want to talk about it, but right or wrong, whatever, that is what's happening here. And things are getting worse. Things are getting worse. You killed a microwave. I am a microwave killer. I am. And they actually, I was caught, and they did DNA testing on the arrow, and it did have microwave DNA, and they did a familial match, and they tracked it down. It was a Norelco microwave family, and now I'm caught 30 years later. They just caught me, and anyway, hopefully I get off. Courtney, what's going on? You're talking to the microwave murderer. Maybe I should call this microwave murder. No, I'm going to save this gross thing. I'm going to keep it in my garage, and just in case Waldheim Cemetery gets a hold of me. Are you guys having fun yet? Talking about. I mean, did you ever expect we'd be talking about bows and arrows and hunting in cemeteries? Oh, you know what? I really wish the camera was going. I would have been. I would have gone. Holy cow! Look, guys, live. Wouldn't that have been fun? Yeah. What else you want to talk about? Hey, I ran into somebody at my grocery store. I don't want to say her name. She probably was at the grocery store here. Ron, Faces of Forgotten. We all watch you. That was so cool. That's never happened to me before. Yeah. So, Kylie, I was thinking last week's live stream went pretty well. We had none of this problem. So I was thinking maybe it was my phone, but no, it's the area. It's that area because that happened. Britain, that happened to us on Halloween. We got hosed. While living in Colorado, a neighbor shot a blunt head across the street and it went under neighbor's truck and struck his garage door. Yikes. That's scary. I mean, you could kill somebody even with that blunt head. Actually, they make not the metal, but they make an actual big rubber blunt head, and I think they shoot small animals with that. And it's like a stunning, it's like hitting them with a rock. And I have to tell you another story, from my bow hunting days. So my first, before I started my company, it was 1990, 1989. I think I was 29 or 30 years old, and I was living in Bucktown, which is northwest side of Chicago, and I was getting so mad, and I won't use the real word, PISS, right? Because every other night they were breaking into cars. It was still pioneering neighborhood. There were gangs, there was fights, there was gunshots. I was starting my company. Actually, I started my company out of three flat. That three flat was on Medill Avenue. It's at Fullerton and Western Avenue, if you know Chicago. And we would hear gunshots and there'd be bullets flying, gang fights. Anyway, pioneering, didn't have any money. What was I talking about? Okay, so I was getting really mad at people, young punks going down the street, taking car stereos, breaking into cars. And I got this idea that I had my bow, they're compound bows. They have pulleys. And basically the way the bow and arrow works, like with this thing, is you pull it back and it's kind of really hard to pull back. And you get it really here. And then all of a sudden it gets real easy for like this much, because there's cams, they're like pulleys and they're like oblong. And when they turn and they get to that point, then you can hold it. So you don't have to, then it's kind of easy to hold. It's maybe 10 pounds of pressure rather than 60 pounds of pressure or 80. So I got this bright idea from the attic window that I was going to catch one of these guys breaking into the cars, and I was going to stay up all night, and I was going to get one of those blunt heads, big piece of rubber on the front, and I'm going to shoot one of those. I'm going to hit him in the back and just knock him down. And I stayed up one night, and nobody came. And then I stayed up another night and I fell asleep, and then they came and they ran away. And so long and the short of it, I never shot anybody. And there's a phrase called young, dumb, and full of something. I don't want to say it. Young, dumb. I was young, dumb, and full of, and thank God, because I could have killed somebody. Now, I wasn't shooting an arrow with like going to shoot the arrow or even the tip. I was going to use the big rubber and just like I was punching somebody. But you think about it, it's like, crap, man, what if I hit him in the head, back of the head? You could kill somebody. So the stupid stuff you do when you're young. Anyway. All right, guys, I think I'm going to go. It's an hour and 15 minutes. I don't like to go past an hour too much. You guys are probably getting bored. Is there anything else you want to ask me before I sign off? Are you guys going to come and see me tonight at the premiere? Please, the guy getting his head chopped off. Thank you. I can hear you now. Well, that's good. All right, you guys. It was great hanging out together. I have a premiere coming out tonight at 8 p.m. What time is it now? It's so 2 hours and 49 minutes from now. I'll see you there. We can chat, catch up, and it is a crazy story from near Lafayette, Indiana. All right, so a lot of crows flying. A murder of crows. You want to see a murder of crows like you've never seen? Come tonight. You're going to see a real murder of crows. All right, everybody. I'm going to sign off, and this will probably be my last live stream until I go on my big trip, which is on the 25th. I'm leaving, so I'm going to do more live streaming on the trip southbound. All right, so catch y'all later.